Good morning. Welcome back. Another episode of Focus Daily TV. Hit that like button, subscribe, support the channel. Today we're going to delve a little bit more into the corporate definition. Not only is this country, United States of America, a corporation, through the registration and reclassification that I often speak of, they also made us corporate entities, little corporations in which they have control over and in which they use to foster this system that we're living in as the backbone of the fiat currency that I so often speak down upon. We're going to watch a little bit more, another video about corporations. Get into it. Keeping it short and sweet. That's it.
This is the VOA Special English Economics Report. Recently, the United States Supreme Court decided a big case about political speech. Political speech is...
So first, let's break down the word corporation. Corpse, that's Latin for body, dead body. Oration is a word that means speak. So the dead speak. The dead has a word in how this system will operate. The dead meaning the major corporations and also the minor corporations, which are individuals themselves, trapped in death, sin and death that the Bible speaks so often of.
Is considered the most protected form of free speech under the Constitution. The case was Citizens United versus the Federal Election Commission.
So what this case actually did was back up corporate entities in their attempt to be the guiding light of this world, rather than the children of the Most High God, the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. We should be the lights of this world. However, we ourselves find ourselves often caught in the propaganda, the manipulation, the ideological subversion of corporate entities.
The question was this: with political speech, do corporations have the same rights as...
So look at that word right there. Corpse, the dead, speaking. Does the speaking dead have the same right as the legitimate people of this land, which happens to be the so-called Afro-Americans? Let's move on.
People. By a vote of 5-4, the conservative majority on the court decided yes. Companies, labor unions, and other organizations.
And the disenfranchisement continues. Earlier this week, we spoke about corporate propaganda and how they keep fearing us in order to continue this system of government, which they have diverged, sunken us within this maritime, water world of sin government.
May now spend as they wish on independent efforts to elect or defeat candidates. The ruling is based on...
So basically, corporations control the so-called election or selection, I like to call it.
On the idea in the United States and many other countries that a corporation is a legal person. So
under their maritime admiralty law situation, the speaking dead are the legal people. Once again, they crucified us. The dead crucified us and resurrected themselves into our position with the 13th and 14th Amendment. Let's go.
Historian.
Hit that like button, subscribe, support the channel. #Focus Daily TV. Moving on.
Jeff Sklansky says a slow shift to personhood for American companies began with a Supreme Court ruling in 1819. It said states cannot interfere with private contracts creating corporations. In the ruling, Chief Justice.
So basically, states could not interfere with the new system that they were beginning to incorporate, which led to the 1900s, 1933, the complete reclassification, bond women, bond men registration. Just a sad overall situation.
John Marshall described a corporation as an artificial being that is a creature of the law. The ruling
Preacher at Jekyll Island
was unpopular. It came as Americans resisted big corporations like the First Bank of the United States, chartered by Congress.
Once again, the money changers stick their head up. It's all coming to a greater conclusion, people. The information that I'm presenting a little bit at a time, is adding up to a bigger picture. If you're new to this channel, go back and check out some of the older videos, and this will all make complete sense to you.
Some states passed laws permitting themselves to change or even cancel corporate charters. After the Civil War in the 1860s, the 14th Amendment was added to the
resurrecting themselves or corporations into the natural citizenship of this land, which doesn't even belong to them. This land is our land. It was given to us by the Father, the God of the Bible, the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, as a birthright. But due to us losing sight of his commandments and his laws, the foreigners invaded. The kings of Babylon came in. And this is the results of their coming.
The Constitution. It provides that no state may deprive any person of life, liberty, or property without due process of law.
Now break that down. I'm not going to break it down for you. Break it down.
It may deprive any person of life, liberty, or property without due process of law. If a corporation is legally a person, then states cannot limit corporate rights without due process of law either. At first,
bound to the world of sin, bond men and bond women. Open up Deuteronomy 3.
First, corporations were not fully recognized as persons, but Jeff Sklansky at Oregon State University says that changed. He said that
so all of this occurred in order that the new system that they were bringing in would be applicable. That's the word.
the general direction of the Supreme Court and the federal courts was to recognize corporations as persons with the same 14th Amendment rights as individuals. Yet corporations have a right that real people do not: limited liability.
Plausible deniability. That's it for today. Thank you for joining me this week. I'll return next week with more of this great information. Until then, the like button, subscribe, support the channel, #FocusDailyTV. We out.